Now, to balance that out a bit, I don't know where Ralph Goodale comes from. Is he from Regina here? Is that he's a cocksucker too. You might have to vote for him as well. And the problem with the Liberals is they voted with the Conservatives on Bill C-15. They're so gutless. Right? Now the NDP voted against it, so you got to return some more New Democrats in this area. And the Green Party wants to legalize marijuana entirely and end this prohibition, so they're well worth voting for. And that's who my wife is running for and representing. And I would definitely recommend this in the next election. Whoever can beat the Conservative Party, you should vote for that person. That's basically the bottom line. I'm going to be voting probably for the Green Party in my riding, because the Liberal is reasonably assured of winning. And the Green Party, you got to support them, because at least if you don't get the person you vote for, they get $1.95 every year towards their party coffers, and that's really vital for the Green Party, because that's $1 million a year for them with their 665,000 votes. But you know what? If we just get out and vote for any one of the three opposition parties in Saskatchewan, we're going to all be a lot better off. Because you know those old people, those drunken haters that vote in Stephen Harper and all those other drunks, they know one thing. They know the young people don't give a fuck. They know you're not going to go vote. Typically people who vote are people who own houses. They're people with a stake in the system. There are people who vote out of habit every year for the last 30, 40 years. And that's how old people do. Oh, I'm going to vote whether I'm in a wheelchair. And if it's a howling blizzard out there, I'm going to get and vote. That's how they think. Hell, young people, if it's next door, they want. I mean, here's how embarrassing it gets. I'm embarrassed to admit this. During the last provincial election, I went into my staff and I said, everybody voting? And 4 people in that room, they all admit they didn't vote. My own staff did not vote. Couldn't be bothered. I was so just shocked and appalled. But if my own staff doesn't get to vote, then we're hopeless. We cannot win. So that's why I'm imploring with you. Don't just go vote yourself. Make sure you browbeat your friends into going with you. Make sure you get them to register to vote. You can always do that right at the polling station. It only takes 2 or 3 hours. Hell, you probably don't even know your employer is supposed to give you 3 hours paid absence to go vote. Right? Now, I don't know if you want to piss them off by saying, hey, my 3 hours is due, man, I'm off, right? Okay, you can probably do it after work or before work, but whatever you do, get out and vote. You're not voting is killing us. It's absolutely killing us. And what you can do for me is if you get me back to Canada by browbeating the public safety minister, and that's currently Peter Van Loan, right? If you browbeat him, sure, we hate him. We hate Stockwell. We hate all those guys, Stephen Harper. You know, Stephen Harper actually thinks man and dinosaurs were cohabiting the planet 6,000 years ago, right? So, I mean, how fucking bright can these people be? Right? I mean, if his position on drugs is as sophisticated as his position on evolution, whoa, we got some overcoming to do, okay? And he's not the only crazy person from Alberta, Saskatchewan, British Columbia, and Manitoba in the Conservative Party by any means. I'm sure you have plenty of your own examples, right? I'm sure there's a lot of Lulus in the Conservative Party in government right now, allegedly representing you and your views. I don't think so. What they're saying is, you guys all got to end up in jail. They all passed Bill C-15. So think about that. You got to get me back. I need you to lobby the public safety minister, Peter Van Loan, or whoever is there. I need you to get out and vote. I need you to write letters on my behalf. And hell, write me while you're in jail. You know what I want to hear? First of all, don't say, oh man, I'm sorry you're in prison. That must suck. Yes, it sucks. You know that in advance. Don't bring that up. I don't want to read letters like that. I used to get a lot. In Saskatchewan correction, I got a lot of... First, I got more mail than the rest of the prison combined, right? So I'm never short of mail. I love the mail, but I want you to say stuff like, Mark, I was so choked about what's happened to you and the way things are going that I wrote my senator and I told him this and I left a phone message and then I bombarded the whole Senate. All the senators have come from Saskatchewan. I told them to cancel Bill C-15. I called up on the Gormley show and I said it's an injustice what happened to you. We got to get end prohibition. It's nothing but a bunch of cruelty. What's the public benefit? Tell me letters like that. Send me letters like that. Tell me that's what you're doing, man. I'll feel so good. I mean, I'm not going to feel so good in jail, but you're going to make me feel a lot better in a suck-ass way I'm going to feel for the most part. I'm going to get your letters, you're going to tell me all the great things you're doing, I'm going to say, hey, there's a purpose to my life. Even in this rotting fucking hellhole where I'm trapped in this foreigner jail because I'm going to be with 1,000 Mexicans and about 10 Canadians. I'm going to be with a lot of gang members from Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico, and it's going to be one violent place that's locked down currently. The jail in California City's been locked down for those 10 Canadians for 52 days straight. They get out of their cell for 1 hour each day to walk outside, then they're put back in a cell. And those cells are like 10 feet by 12 feet wide for 2 people. They're fucking going crazy like animals there. So the Canadians are saying, get us the fuck out. But they're not bringing them. So don't let me languish like that. Make sure you make your voices heard on my behalf, on behalf of our culture. And I think I'll just wrap it up. And if anybody's got any questions, thanks for coming. If you don't stick around, I am always the last person to leave any venue. I've got this fabulous movie that the CBC did with your tax money, and we're so glad they did, called Prince of Pop. And you're going to have a copy there? Make sure. It's in the back. So we've got them. They're only $15 each. I'll be glad to autograph them. It's a fabulous movie. It's got 10 extra scenes in it. And I really recommend you get that movie and show all your friends and watch it. It's been aired about 14 times on CBC. Over 5 million Canadians have seen it. I've been in a lot of movies lately. I want you to check out MSNBC's Marijuana Inc. I want you to watch National Geographic's show called Inside Marijuana. I'm in a lot of that. I want you to see Superweed by National Geographic. I'm in that. I'm in a movie called Escape to Canada, which you can rent at Roger's video here. Talks all about, hey, it even shows me smoking up Regina's police station and getting arrested in that one. Right? So you can see that in Escape to Canada. I'm in Super Jaime. It's a comedy. I've got a short scene in that one that's kind of fun. I'm in a movie called Naked Queen, Living Luminaries. What's that? And I'm in a new movie called The Union that's out on DVD. And that's a really awesome movie. We just watched it on TV the other night. And we got the DVD. So I'm in all those things. Make all your friends watch them. Spread the word. And thanks very much for coming tonight. Thanks very much, everyone. This gentleman said I saved his life, so let's hope he's right there. And y'all want to sit down again? I'll be glad to take any questions and answer any. Plus, my wife often thinks of things I forgot to tell you, so we get a bit in here a little while yet. All right. Anything else? Okay. Any questions for anyone here? We'll get the movies up. Any questions? No easy question. I could have been that cookie. I always forget something. I always forget. Yes. All right, another fucked up idea from CBS. Get this. He's assigned this guy, a religious fundamentalist, to find a link between cannabis and schizophrenia. Now, this guy has no particular expertise in cannabis or schizophrenia. But here's the thing he first said. He said, when I talk to God, when I talk to my God, and so the first thing that occurs to me is he said, you're talking to God? And you're talking to us about schizophrenia? Excuse me. Hello, you're talking to imaginary people. That's like a primary sign of schizophrenia. And that was the first words out of his mouth. So you just know that's going to be bullshit. Here's a guy who already thinks he talks to God and that Jesus exists when he talks to his Lord. They don't exist. He's talking to fairy tale people, and this is the person the Prime Minister assigned to research the link between schizophrenia and cannabis. Brian Mulroney's science minister was our current Justice Minister, Rob Nicholson, and when he brought forward his mandatory minimums, people on the committee said, do you have any scientific studies that show that mandatory minimums actually lower crime? He says, no, we don't, but this is what the Canadian people want. No, we don't. This man was the former science minister, and he has no science to prove his mandatory minimums will do any good for Canadian society.